When someone disrespects you, you don't lose your worth. Only the weakness of the one who does it is exposed. You don't need to lower yourself or shout to prove your worth. Your greatest strength lies in not giving them control of your reaction. Every time you respond with anger, you hand over the power that should be solely yours. Stoicism teaches that true respect is not demanded. It is reflected in your behavior, in your calmness, and in your ability to maintain dignity even when others try to tarnish it. The world is full of people who seek to provoke, who feel great by humiliating others or mocking what they don't understand. You won't be able to change their nature, but you can prevent them from dragging you down to their level. The calmness you maintain in the face of insult is not passivity. It's a wall that protects your peace and makes it clear that they can't touch your core. Dignity is only lost when you allow your character to depend on the words of others. Being strong doesn't mean enduring abuse or staying silent in the face of injustices. It means choosing your battles wisely and acting without letting anger consume you. It's easy to shout. It's easy to humiliate back. The hard part is maintaining control and not falling into the game of those who seek to see you lose your composure. That is the silent victory of those who master their mind, not allowing the poison of others to become their own poison. In this video, you will learn how to confront disrespect with firmness and serenity. It's not about looking for clever phrases to respond or returning blows. It's about training the mind not to fall into provocations, to withdraw quietly when dignity demands it, to transform humiliation into character, and to maintain your coherence even when no one recognizes it. Because the strongest authority is not imposed with shouts, it is conveyed in the way you conduct yourself. And keep your calm as your greatest form of power. True power is not always shown with tense muscles, clenched fists, or sharp words. Often, it is revealed in the unflappable silence of someone who refuses to react to the chaos others provoke. Keeping calm is not being indifferent or weak. It is having a mind so trained that not even the most hurtful words can break the inner balance. An insult loses its edge when it cannot find an open wound to stick into. Calmness is the invisible shield that disarms the aggressor, because nothing frustrates them more than seeing their attempts to destabilize you are futile. Stoicism reminds us that the only territory we truly possess is our mind. Others may criticize you, offend you, or even betray you, but they have no access to what you decide to think and feel unless you open the door to them. Every time you give in to anger, you hand them the keys to your inner fortress. Keeping calm is to declare, "My peace is not for sale, nor subject to anyone's whims." This is the kind of strength that intimidates without raising the voice. Whoever loses control in the face of provocation becomes a puppet of the one who irritates them. It's as if they handed over the strings of their character to the other. Think about how many arguments end without resolution because someone got carried away by the heat of the moment. On the other hand, calmness acts as an anchor that prevents external currents from dragging you to places you will regret. The Stoic is not someone who does not feel, but someone who feels, but chooses not to react from impulse. Keeping calm is also an act of self-knowledge. You do not react because you know who you are and do not need to prove it. The person who feels secure in their worth does not need others to recognize it, much less validate it in the midst of a confrontation. This inner mastery sends a silent message: "You will not make me lose my center." It is a power that is not shouted, it radiates, and that quiet presence is often more intimidating than any threat. Of course, calmness does not come overnight. It is a muscle that is trained. One of the most effective Stoic practices is negative visualization. Before facing the world, mentally contemplate that someone may disrespect you, that there will be insults or injustices. By foreseeing it, it does not take you by surprise, and you reduce the emotional impact. Another practice is conscious breathing. The moment you feel that anger wants to take over you, stop, inhale deeply, hold your breath for a few seconds, and exhale slowly. That small space between impulse and response is where self-control is born. The value of calmness is especially demonstrated when everything around you demands that you lose your nerves. Maintaining serenity in the midst of noise, insult, or injustice does not mean accepting abuse. It means that you choose your moment to act and do not rush in the midst of chaos. The best decisions are rarely made when the blood boils. Remember this: anyone can raise their voice, but not everyone can keep silence with authority. Anyone can respond to an insult with another, but not everyone can master the instinct to do so. Self-control is a privilege of the strong, not the submissive. The next time someone tries to provoke you, remember that the most important respect is the one you give yourself by refusing to become what they expect. Someone who loses control. Keep your calm, because therein lies true power. 2. Quietly distance yourself from what destroys your dignity. Not everything that hurts you deserves a response, and not every battle is worth the drain on your energy. There are situations and people that cannot be won over with words or arguments, because their intention was never to understand or respect you. The mistake many make is getting trapped in these quicksand-like situations, believing that over time the other person will change. The reality is that there are environments that only seek to drag you down, and your greatest act of strength is having the courage to step away, not out of cowardice, but out of respect for your own dignity. Stoicism teaches that what destroys the soul does not always come with a direct blow. Often it infiltrates slowly and silently. A relationship where mockery is disguised as jokes. A job where you are humiliated in the name of discipline. A friendship that drains you with criticism disguised as advice. Sometimes you don't notice how much you're wearing down until you look in the mirror and no longer recognize the firmness in your own gaze. Walking away quietly does not mean running away or holding a grudge. It means understanding that it's not worth explaining your decision to those who never had an interest in listening. Silence is often the most powerful message. It says, "I finished allowing this to affect me." It's an act of self-defense that doesn't need applause or witnesses. And even if the world calls you cold or selfish for prioritizing yourself, remember that you can't build anything valuable on ground that sinks every time you take a step. Think about how many times you argued with someone, trying to convince them that their treatment was unfair, only to discover that the more you explained, the more excuses they found to stay the same. In these cases, to insist is to dig your own frustration. Stoicism insists that respect is not begged for. It is demanded with actions, and sometimes the most powerful action is to turn around and close the door without looking back. The silent retreat is not passivity, it's strategy. Staying in a toxic environment, trying to change it with shouts, is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Choose to leave, and you'll see how you regain energy, mental clarity, and even physical health. Studies on chronic stress show that hostile environments raise blood pressure, affect sleep, and weaken the immune system. Walking away is not just an emotional gesture, it's a decision for your overall well-being. But walking away is not easy, because the mind clings even to what hurts it. That's where courage becomes necessary. The courage to disappoint expectations, to endure the judgment of others, to bear the uncomfortable silence of those who don't understand your decision. Here comes the Stoic wisdom. You don't seek external approval to justify what you know is right for you. Personal dignity is not negotiated or explained, it is protected. An example of this silent strength is choosing not to respond to the last provocative message. Not to go to the place where you know you will be humiliated again. Not to participate in the conversation that only seeks to degrade you. These small acts are seeds of freedom. They show you that you don't need a confrontation to claim your space. You just need the determination to withdraw in time. Walk away quietly, not like someone who is running away, but like someone who knows that their worth is not up for debate or begging. Sometimes the bravest step you can take is not forward or backward, but outward, to leave the storm that others provoke and preserve the calm they will never have. That is the kind of respect that comes from within and does not depend on others. 3. Use humiliation as the fire that tempers your character. Humiliation has the ability to break those who do not know what to do with it, but it can also forge those who learn to withstand its heat. This is not about justifying mistreatment or glorifying suffering. It's about understanding that every blow to the ego is an opportunity to strengthen something deeper than pride: character. Stoicism teaches that what matters is not what is done to you, but what you decide to build with it. A blow can sink you into resentment, or it can harden you like steel forged in fire. Every insult, every mockery, every look that tries to belittle you is like the hammer blow that shapes the sword. The difference lies in your response. If you choose to stay in pain, the wound becomes infected. If you choose to use pain as discipline, the wound closes and leaves you a scar that tells your story. The true power of someone is not in never having been humiliated, but in having gone through humiliation without losing respect for oneself. Most people respond to humiliation with fury or resentment, thus allowing the offender to retain control even after they have left. The Stoic takes control of the narrative. He does not let the aggressor be the one who defines the end of the story. Every time you endure contempt without turning it into poison for yourself, you demonstrate that your dignity does not depend on the opinion of others. This is the kind of strength that is not seen from the outside, but that supports everything else. One of the most powerful practices is immediate reflection. Ask yourself, what of what they have told me is really true, and what is just the reflection of their own bitterness? Often, humiliation speaks more of the other person than of you. Stoicism advises examining words, separating what deserves attention from what is just noise. If something they tell you is true, use it to correct yourself. If it is a lie, let it dissipate into the air. In this way, neither of the two things defeats you, neither fair criticism nor unfair. The process of converting humiliation into character requires emotional discipline. The first reaction is usually to want to take revenge or prove that the other person was wrong. But remember, any attempt to prove your worth to someone who seeks to belittle you is a trap. Humiliation is not fought on the aggressor's turf, but on the turf of your own growth. Ask yourself how this moment can teach you resilience, patience, clarity about who deserves your energy and who does not. Imagine someone who has been belittled all their life for their humble origins. They have two paths. Let the words define them as less, or let them be the fuel that drives them to demonstrate, not with words but with results, who they really are. Stoics did not respond to mockery with complaints, but with actions. Their character became their silent response, and often much more devastating to those who tried to degrade them. It's important to understand that tempering character does not mean hardening the heart until it becomes insensitive. It means learning to withstand pain without becoming bitter, learning to process wounds without carrying resentments. The fire that forges can also destroy, and that's why self-control is needed, to prevent humiliation from burning you inside, but to mold you. Humiliation does not define your worth. It defines your response capability. If you choose to turn each blow into a step towards your inner strength, you become indomitable, not because no one ever attacks you again, but because no attack manages to break you. 4. Control your tongue to avoid falling into provocations. Words have the power to raise empires or destroy them, and there is no sharper weapon than an uncontrolled tongue in the midst of anger. When someone seeks to disrespect you, they do so hoping to drag you into their territory, that you respond with the same aggression, that you lose your calm, that you say something they will later use against you. Falling into this trap is to give them power. Keeping control of what you say is to maintain control of the situation. Stoicism teaches that silence is sometimes more eloquent than any witty reply. When you remain silent in the face of provocation, it does not mean that you accept the offense or that you are weak. It means that you reject the invitation to a useless fight. Every impulsive response is a gift you give to the provocateur. You confirm that they have influence over you. Think about arguments that escalate into absurdity. Most conflicts are not born out of great injustices, but out of poorly spoken words. In moments of anger, a sarcastic comment responds to another. The tone rises, hearts beat faster, and soon the conversation stops being about the initial problem and becomes a competition of who hurts the other more. Controlling the tongue is to interrupt that cycle before it consumes you. Verbal control also involves choosing the right time to speak. It's not about always being silent, but about speaking only when your words can contribute something, not when they are just an echo of your anger. A practical tip is to learn to pause before responding. Breathe, count to 3, evaluate whether what you are going to say improves the silence. Often, the simple act of waiting a few seconds prevents you from throwing words that you would later regret. Marcus Aurelius warned that the real harm is not the offense you receive, but the response you give without thinking. Each insult can be like a spark. If you don't react, it goes out in the air, but if you respond with more fire, you create a fire that can destroy relationships, reputations, and above all, your own peace of mind. The uncontrolled tongue is the bridge that connects the other's insult with the inner disaster. Another crucial aspect is to understand that respect is not earned with threats or shouts. Many believe that raising the tone is showing authority, when in reality, it is a sign that they have lost control of themselves. The low tone, the firm and measured words, usually carry more weight than the shouts that seek to impose themselves. The Stoic commands respect not by volume, but by consistency between what he says and how he says it. But every time the ego dictates what comes out of your mouth, you lose the freedom to act with wisdom. Verbal self-control allows you to act from reason, not from the wound. In everyday life, this translates into small decisions, not responding to the provocative message the moment you receive it, not replying to the co-worker's mockery in front of everyone, not reacting with sarcasm when you know it will only worsen the tension. Each time you choose silence or a calm response, you are winning an internal battle against impulse. Remember this: whoever masters their tongue masters their destiny. The words you don't say when you're angry are the ones you later thank for keeping. There is no greater show of strength than responding with serenity when everything incites you to explode. In measured silence and precise words lies true authority. 5. Make your presence speak louder than your words. There is a force that doesn't need shouts or threats. Presence. The way you enter a place, the way you stand, the calm in your gaze, everything communicates long before you open your mouth. The respect you seek is not always obtained by arguing or complaining. It is often imposed by the way you conduct yourself. Stoicism teaches that true power lies in self-control and consistency, and both are reflected in the silent presence you project to the world. Think of those people who, without saying a word, make others lower their voices or behave more carefully. It's not magic, nor is it forced intimidation. It's the result of having cultivated an inner authority that is perceived at first glance. It is noticeable in their posture, in their serenity, in the way they do not seek approval. Whoever respects themselves radiates an invisible boundary that others feel without the need for explanations. Your presence strengthens when you stop acting to impress and start acting from your authenticity. People perceive genuine security and also detect disguised insecurity. It's not about pretending toughness or hardening your face to look imposing. It's about walking with the conviction that you don't need to prove your worth. That tranquility disarms those who seek to provoke you, because they discover that they cannot alter someone who is at peace with themselves. Stoicism reminds you that the body is a reflection of the mind. If your mind is scattered, anxious or fearful, it will show in your body language: slumped shoulders, evasive gaze, nervous gestures. On the contrary, when your mind is firm and clear, your body aligns with that energy. Your posture is upright, your movements are slow, your gaze direct but not aggressive. Do an exercise. Enter a room without saying anything and observe how your energy feels. Is it restless, insecure, defensive? Now imagine entering with the firm thought that you have nothing to prove, that your worth does not depend on anyone else's reaction. That small mental difference transforms the way you move, and therefore, the perception others have of you. Presence begins with what you think of yourself. Another key to strengthening your presence is emotional discipline. People respect those who do not react excessively to difficulties. If you lose your nerves easily, you lose authority. Instead, someone who remains calm in the midst of a problem radiates control and security. Therefore, every time you choose not to get upset in the face of provocation, you not only protect yourself, you also reinforce the silent message that no one can drag you into chaos. Presence is also built with consistent actions. It's no use walking confidently if your actions contradict your image. Consistency is the basis of respect. Keeping your promises, not talking too much, avoiding constant complaining and treating others with firmness and fairness. All of this feeds that silent impression that you are a reliable person, someone who does not need to justify their authority because they demonstrate it with facts. Let your presence speak before you, because in many situations, the first message you send does not come out of your mouth, but from your posture, your energy, and your silence. Whoever enters a space with respect for themselves does not need to demand it. They simply inspire it. And when others perceive that they cannot shake you from your center with words or gestures, respect arises naturally. 6. Stop seeking justice from those who will never give it to you. One of the cruelest traps we fall into is expecting justice from those who thrive on injustice. We believe that if we explain enough, if we demonstrate our innocence, or if we insist with arguments, someday they will recognize their mistake and do the right thing. But asking for justice from someone who doesn't know the word respect is like asking fire for water. It will not only not give it, but it will end up burning you more. Stoicism warns that a large part of human suffering arises from expecting the world to act according to our expectations. It hurts us not only the insult, but the fact that there are no consequences for the one who did it. It hurts us not only the betrayal, but the idea that the traitor will continue his life as if nothing happened. This feeling of injustice prolongs the wound because we keep reliving it with the hope that someday someone will repair it. The Stoic understands that the world rarely rewards the just or punishes the unjust in the way we would like, and that depending on this illusion is to give your peace to an uncertain fate. To stop seeking justice in people who lack integrity is, in reality, an act of liberation. It means accepting that not everyone has the same conscience and that it is not your job to educate those who choose to remain blind. It is not resignation or defeat. It is clarity. It is understanding that while you invest energy waiting for a gesture that will never come, they continue their life without the slightest remorse. Freeing yourself from this expectation is to recover your time and energy for yourself. There are those who, no matter how much evidence you present to them, will always find a way to blame you or justify their actions. This happens because for them, the problem was never the truth, but their ego. Expecting an inflated ego to humble itself to recognize a mistake is to expect the impossible. Stoic philosophy teaches not to beg for recognition or repair where there is no will to give it. The respect you owe yourself includes knowing who you give your attention to. When you give up seeking justice in the unjust, it does not mean that you accept their acts or that you give up defending what is right. It means that you choose the scenarios where your voice has weight and stop shouting in deserts where there is no echo. It's like stopping knocking on a closed door to look for another one that can open. This decision not only avoids endless frustrations, but also prevents resentment from taking over your character. A clear example is in discussions with manipulative people. The more you try to explain their mistake, the more they entangle you in their game. They do not seek to understand, only to wear you out. The Stoic strategy is to let go of the desire to convince and focus energy on concrete actions. Set boundaries, withdraw from the relationship or change the environment instead of continuing to wait for a change in them. Do not let their blindness become the chain that keeps you trapped in the past. Accepting this truth brings peace, because you understand that the most valuable justice is not the one you receive from others, but the one you exercise over yourself, to live with integrity, to act according to your principles, and not to contaminate your character with hatred towards those who chose to betray their own humanity. You cannot force the world to treat you well, but you can decide not to stoop to the level of those who do not know how to do it. Stop seeking justice in the unjust, not because you give up your rights, but because you choose your freedom over your resentment. The true victory is in not allowing their lack of values to destroy yours. 7. Break away from the ties that insist on belittling you. There are people who don't hurt you by accident, but out of habit. They got used to using sarcasm as a weapon, disguised as a joke, to point out your mistakes, to feel superior, or to remind you of your failures as if they were their favorite pastime. No matter how much you try to explain to them how they make you feel, they will continue to belittle you because in their dynamic you are the perfect target for their ego. Staying close to them is like remaining under a constant drizzle. At first, you barely notice it, but over time you end up soaked and cold. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control others, but we can control who we let into our lives. Staying tied to bonds that insist on belittling you is like carrying stones in your pockets while trying to swim. Sooner or later, they will sink you. Cutting these ties is not an act of cruelty, but of emotional survival. No one should remain in a place where their dignity is sacrificed to maintain apparent peace. Breaking harmful ties requires courage because often they are close people, relatives, longtime friends, work colleagues. We deceive ourselves by saying that someday they will change, that things will improve if we have more patience or if we find the right words. But the truth is that if someone feels comfortable belittling you, it is unlikely that they will wake up on their own. The act of distancing ourselves is not only to protect us, but also a clear message to ourselves. I will not allow my worth to depend on the opinion of those who cannot see it. The first step to breaking these ties is to recognize the pattern. Ask yourself, do I feel smaller after each conversation with that person? Do I feel like I have to constantly justify my worth? If the answers are yes, it's not a bond, it's a chain. And a chain is not negotiated, it is broken. Stoicism reminds us that we are not obligated to remain in relationships that undermine our spirit. In fact, doing so is betraying ourselves. The breakup does not always have to be dramatic. Sometimes it is enough to establish clear boundaries. Less contact, less explanation, less emotional availability. Other times, it is necessary to cut off completely, without long speeches or confrontations, because it is not about convincing them, but about freeing yourself. They may accuse you of exaggerating or being selfish, but these words are often the last resort of those who lose the control they had over you. Moving away from those who insist on belittling you is to reclaim the space they occupied in your mind, space that you can now fill with self-respect, with people who inspire you, and with peace. The respect that others do not give you begins to bloom in you when you stop giving your time and energy to those who never valued it. Do not be afraid to let go of hands that drag you down. Not all ties deserve to be saved, especially those that feed on making you feel less. Breaking away from them is not losing, it is reclaiming what you should never have given up, your dignity. 8. Act firmly instead of demanding respect. Genuine respect is not obtained by begging or imposing it with threats. It is earned by the way you live and the clarity of your boundaries. Many people fall into the trap of demanding respect from those who never intended to give it. wearing themselves out in useless arguments. The paradox is that the more you demand it with words, the less you receive it. Respect is inspired, not forcibly taken. Stoicism teaches that our greatest influence is not in what we say, but in what we do. If you want respect, stop wasting time on sermons and start acting in a way that no one doubts your firmness. Your actions, your consistency, and your character send a message that words rarely manage to convey. A confident gesture, a timely decision, a boundary that remains firm even under pressure, all of this has more impact than any fiery speech. Think of someone who always warns, "Don't talk to me like that," or "I demand that you respect me," but never takes action when those boundaries are crossed. Their words lose weight because they are not backed by facts. On the other hand, the person who withdraws from a humiliating situation without raising their voice, who cuts off a toxic relationship without drama, who says no and holds it even if it hurts, demonstrates with actions that their self-respect is not for sale. That quiet firmness has a power that complaints will never have. Acting firmly does not mean being inflexible or aggressive. It means that your decisions do not depend on the mood of the moment or the approval of others. Firmness comes from knowing yourself, knowing what you are not willing to tolerate, and acting accordingly without hesitation. This also implies being fair. You do not demand respect if you are not willing to offer it, because imposed respect loses its value when it is not mutual. Stoicism reminds us that clear boundaries protect more than any confrontation. Often, the simple act of establishing and fulfilling them is enough for others to understand that they cannot abuse your patience. Firmness is not theatrical. It does not seek to impress. It seeks to mark emotional territory so that not just anyone has access to your inner peace. A Stoic practice to strengthen this firmness is detachment from approval. When you stop acting to please others, it is easier for you to hold a no when necessary. Another practice is daily reflection. Ask yourself every night if your actions of the day defended your dignity or if you gave in to pressure. This constant self-evaluation allows you to adjust your behavior until it is your life itself that inspires respect. The true power of acting firmly lies in that you do not need to justify yourself. The person who lives according to their principles does not seek endless explanations to be understood. They know that respect is perceived in their actions. That is why the most admired leaders are not the ones who talk the most, but those who stay the course when others waver. Those who stand by their decisions even when facing criticism. Stop demanding respect with words that wear out in the air and start building it with actions that leave a mark. Firmness does not need spectators or applause because its strength comes from internal consistency. Every time you act according to your values, you reinforce a silent message: you don't play with me. And that is the kind of respect that does not depend on others, but on the integrity with which you choose to live. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. If you watched the whole thing, comment "I am Stoic" as our secret signal to know that you're a true student of Stoicism. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. See you in the next video, and remember, keep cultivating your Stoic mind.